Hi boys and girls, today we're going to be talking about angles. Our lesson today is 4.6c and it is about identifying three different types of angles, acute, right, and obtuse. So you're going to learn to identify the three angles today, acute, obtuse, and right. How are you going to show us that? Well, you're going to be able to correctly label if an angle is acute, if it's right, or if it's obtuse. So let's look at our notes today. It says classifying and naming angles. What type of angles are these? Okay, well first off, let's think about what the definition of an angle is. An angle is formed with two rays with a common endpoint. Okay, I know last year in third grade you talked about rays. Rays are what we use when we have angles. Okay, a ray starts at an endpoint or a vertex and it goes in one direction, and you'll see the little arrow on it. So where the two rays meet is called the vertex or the endpoint. But an angle is formed by two rays with a common endpoint. And the vertex is the point where the two sides intersect on an angle or a polygon. So these are angles A, B, C, and D. And they actually form, really, we're going to talk about three different types, but there is one that we're going to throw in there for you. So a degrees, and I want to talk to you for a minute, a degrees is the opening of the angle. Okay, so the degrees is how far opened is this angle. And it's called a unit of measure for angles, and it's also for temperature. And notice, you show that by making whatever the number is, and then you put the little degree sign in it, like for temperature and for angles. So there are three different types of angles that we're going to be talking about. This first one is called an acute angle. An acute angle is an angle that the opening is less than 90 degrees. And I know probably in third grade, I think you probably, acute is, this would be 90 degrees straight up. Acute is anything less than 90 degrees, and it's like a cute little angle. You know, it's a cute little angle, but it's acute, not acute, but acute. A cute little angle, so it's anything less than 90 degrees. Okay, the next one is called an obtuse angle. And I look at an obtuse, it's kind of hard to bend your arm back this way, but an obtuse, like when you go to the doctor's office and they ask you to open your mouth and say ah, and you go ah. Okay, so that is the larger one. An obtuse angle has an opening of greater than 90 degrees. Acute, less than. Obtuse, greater than. So think about ah, opening is larger. So obtuse. Now, this is actually a line because it goes on both ways. Remember a line, and I think you probably did the motions in third grade, but your fingertips are straight out to show that it goes on in both ways. It's also called a straight angle. Straight line, straight angle. The opening for this one is 180 degrees. The reason why, it's 180 on the top, and it could be 180 on the bottom, and when you add them together, that's 360 for a full circle. So this is a straight, and then the last one is one that I know that you've heard before, and it's called a right angle. Well, a right angle has an opening of exactly 90 degrees. And when you put two right angles together, of course, you have the degrees of 180. So acute, less than 90, obtuse, greater than 90, straight, 180, and right, exactly 90. So I'll write these down. So acute is less than 90 degrees. Obtuse is greater than 90 degrees. A straight is 180 degrees. And a right angle, and a lot of times they'll even give you a heads up and put that little box right there to show you that it is exactly 90 degrees. So those are the angles that we're going to be talking about today. Acute, obtuse, straight, and right. So we said angles are formed when two rays have a common endpoint. Angles are also formed in any of the polygons that we see or triangles, and we'll talk about that at a later date. Okay, so classifying and naming angles. So if this one is less than 90 degrees, we know, of course, it's the acute. If this one is greater than 90 degrees, it's the obtuse. 180 degrees, it's a straight, and exactly 90 degrees, it is a 90-degree angle. And here is the definition. An acute angle is an angle that measures between 1 degree and 89 degrees or less than 90 degrees. And we said angle A was the acute one, and it gave you that answer because it measures between 1 degree and 89 degrees. A right angle is an angle that it measures exactly 90 degrees. Which angle was a right angle? We said it was angle D because it measures exactly 90 degrees. An obtuse angle is an angle that measures between 91 degrees, greater than a right, and 179, less than a straight. And we said that one is angle B. And then a straight angle is an angle that it measures exactly 180 degrees. And we said that that one was C. There are 4 steps to naming an angle. The first thing you're going to do is make an angle symbol. Okay, what is the symbol? Well, you're going to make the symbol. Looks like a little angle. Then you're going to name a point on a ray. It doesn't matter which point you name. And you're going to name the vertex. It's important. The vertex has to be the middle number. So if I was going to name this one, it would be CAB, or it would be angle BAC. Or it could just be angle A. Okay, so let's look at this one right here. Classifying and naming angles. We're going to write down 3 ways to name this angle. The first way we can name it is just by the middle, angle E. The second way we can name it is starting with G, so the angle symbol, G, E, and F. And the third way we can make the angle symbol and we can go back, F, E, G. Okay, questions. So we can name that one 3 different ways. And let's look and see. I want you on your paper to number 1. We'll put 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I want you very quickly to write down either it's acute, it's right, it's straight, or it's obtuse. And if you have to refer back to your notes, please do. So I'm going to pause this for just a minute. Okay, let's go back. Who can tell me what that one is? Okay, if you said straight, you were correct. Let's look at the second one. I also want you to kind of tell me why you think it's that angle. Okay, the second one, if you said right, you are correct because it equals 90 degrees. And I would go ahead and write that out to the side of your notes so that you remember that it equals 90 degrees. Let's look at this one. That's a big opening. When I think of a big opening, I think of ah. So if you wrote obtuse, you are correct because an obtuse is greater than 90 degrees. Really, it's between 91 and 179. It's between 91 degrees and 179. And that leaves the last one. And if you put acute, for that cute little angle, it is between 1 degree and 89 degrees. And it's less than 90 degrees. Okay, so today's lesson, we're starting off with our notes, talking about the four different types of angles. This one we really don't consider an angle, we consider it a line, but it is called a straight angle, so just know that. So we are talking about acute, less than 90 degrees, obtuse, greater than 90 degrees, and right, exactly 90 degrees. See you later, guys.